Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. Welcome to the Zone Rant. You got Rob, Packerbacker Rob, and Ken, the bearded Packer fan. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Getting ready to eat us some fucking Seahawk tonight.
I know, some sea chicken wings. That's what I'm having tonight, sea chicken wings. And if you don't want to know the difference, well, there's really none. Wings are wings, man. Especially when you load them up with barbecue sauce.
Rob's out here when they're having a chicken wing shortage catching pigeon.
Well, they got cook-offs all the time here in Texas, so, wings are everywhere.
Oh,
man.
That's great.
Bro, Bears, Vikings, is it really a war week? I mean, we
no.
I call it a war week, but is it really a war week?
I was going to say, you can call it a war, but at absolute best, it's a paintball match.
Yeah.
Because unless Minnesota has an epic skull collapse, they're going to be walking away with this one.
Bro, and the best and the worst, I don't even know if this is good or bad. I mean, they're on Monday night, so we got to wait till the last game of the week. But they're not even in solo prime time. They got to share it with the Raiders game because the Raiders game is on too.
I mean, both of those games are gonna suck,
bro.
Oh, dude, did you hear Max Crosby's done for the year?
Yeah, well, they should put him on the shelf. That's putting him on the shelf. Get him healthy. You're tanking for the season. I mean, take away the best defensive player, and now your defense really sucks. The odds makers in Vegas are going, oh shit, we're going to make some money this week, bro. It's. I don't know, man. I would have done it. I mean, if you're tanking, you're tanking. Where are they at right now? Do they got it solo for the first spot? Right? I think they got it. 2 wins, right?
I don't think it's them. I think they're in 2.
Okay. But this helps them get to 1. I promise you.
I think maybe it's Jacksonville's at 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They got 2 wins.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd look it up, but with me being mobile, I don't know how well that's going to work.
I'm sorry, Robert. You can say that, but I don't believe it. He's talking about how they're going to have their way with it. I don't think that's going to happen, bro. I think it's going the other way. We're going to have our way with them. It's not a war as much as a skirmish, right? Or a woodshed event, yeah, just take them out to the woodshed. Take them to task.
I was going
to. Yeah, right. Sure it is. Ain't much of a war.
It is a war week, but they're firing blanks.
Firing blanks. Fake ass. It's not even paintball. You said paintball, but I bet paintball hurts worse than what the Bears can do.
Oh.
Only a delusional Packers. It is, bro. I'm here to tell you. Last night we had open mic. Ken, you were probably the only Bear fan in the comments. That was it. You weren't even, and there was not one on the show. They don't even show up. The fan base is giving up on the season, man. You guys are talking about your draft already.
I mean, to be fair, at that record, I'd be thinking about the draft too.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about the draft till the rest of us got football. The rest of the division.
Yeah. When we had our 6-9-1 year, I was sitting there thinking about that draft. As soon as I knew that we were realistically out of the playoffs, not mathematically, because that shit takes forever, but realistically out.
Yeah, I don't care about honestly, I don't care about the stats. Oh shit, my bad, Isaac. I didn't even know he's back there. Did you know?
Yeah, you see what happens when we let Rob run this thing completely by himself?
Fuck, get at it, Rob. You at it.
I don't say you guys ain't got no players, Ken. Stop. You're such a weenie, bro. Stop taking shit so personally. It's not. I'm not. Your players are there. They just stopped playing, man. They didn't show up. I mean, they cried, get rid of my coach. He's the boy. He's the reason we suck. Then you guys don't even show up to play to beat the 49ers, man. Come on.
Your players should Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, they did. Like 4 yards first half, bro. Ugly. That says we gave up. That says we gave up. Because everybody's like, well, the coach is the reason why the defense sucked. Bro, did they get rid of the defense? Did they throw out the defensive plays? If the coach got sick and had pneumonia and couldn't show up for the game, does that mean their defense isn't going to show up that day?
I mean, to be fair, the Jets defense fell apart when Saleh left too.
Yeah, but that's to me is an excuse. The plays didn't go anywhere. The way the guy called the game, you have video on it. You know how he called the game. You know what plays work. Did you guys get rid of all that data? I mean, come on. If you're a professional organization, come on, snap it together.
That's one of those, I think it's because I'm the new guy, I got to do something different from the old guy, even if what he did worked. I mean, that's just my assumption here.
I'm just saying, I don't see how you can hide that, because the coach is gone, we don't know how to play defense suddenly. What the fuck is I'm sorry.
Hey, if the Vikings beat you by 30, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, man.
I'm not saying players don't want to put good stuff on tape, but, bro, you've seen what happened. You explain to me what happened on the 49ers because I haven't heard an explanation yet. You guys just didn't show up. You didn't play, And
the Niners are playing terribly.
And the Niners are sucking.
Well, I think the difference between that is one has a real head coach and the other has an interim. So he had no idea what in the blue hell that he's supposed to do to get a team ready for a game. Where Shanahan, he could be dead asleep, tranquilized in a back room and still get a team ready.
Yep. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Bears are just not going to compete for a while. Like they really aren't. You know what I mean? Like every time we hype up these Bears, you mean, wow, this is going to be the the season that they have 10 wins. They fucking do shit like this. You know what I mean? Year after year after year of incompetency. And it starts with George McCaskey. You mean running the team? That guy doesn't know his ass from his elbow.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
So true.
Oh. Hey, maybe they'll be cleaning house and hopefully that McCaskey will let whoever the hell that VP of football operations is run the team himself and let it be completely run through him and make it evidently clear to the next GM that this is 100% the guy you're answering to. Not, you're going to answer to me, but we hired this guy instead and he's going to be in the middle.
What was that clip this morning I saw in the back since George McCaskey took over as the
throw it up. I
gotta find it. I'll find it. I'll put it up there.
I put it on the FTN show.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll get it on there.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Ken, your ownership employed Warren to do that. You know what I mean?
And not
It has been nothing but sad results.
Yeah, and not only that is they can say that this guy's fully running it. It can be in the contract that he's fully running it. But if the dude right in the check says, "Hey, you're doing this," more than likely that's what you're going to do.
Let me give you a perfect analogy of that. Let me give you a perfect freaking analogy here. So basically, the Angels, right? Angels ownership, Angels baseball. You know what I mean? They basically said Perry Managian, the GM, is running, you know what I mean? Basically the baseball thing. He's drafting, he's scouting, he's, you know what I mean, getting the team together, all this type of fucking crap. But guess who he answers to and literally passes through the decisions with? With the owner, Artie Moreno. You know what I mean? Artie Moreno is basically controlling the team without controlling the team. What I mean by that is he's letting the GM make some picks, but all those picks finalized go through Artie. Artie says, "Oh, I don't want this guy, I don't want that." That's why they got him fucking these bloated contracts for old players like Albert Pujols, shit like that. That's all Artie Moreno. You know what I mean? Thinking about his business market. That's exactly what the McCaskies are doing.
There you go.
Here it is.
Since George McCaskey became the Bears chairman in 2011, the Bears have fired 3 GMs, 5 head coaches, and 3 OCs in 14 seasons. They have 2 winning seasons, 2 playoff berths, 0 playoff wins, and a 93-130 record. It gives them an average of 40%. I mean, holy fuck, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm not.
That says it all right there, Ken. I don't even have to say anything more.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning.
What's good morning there, JB.
Not much. I'm ready for this matchup today. And I did a take about the wins that the Lions have had since week 8 of 2022. And somebody actually commented that regular wins mean nothing. And I was like, wait a minute. Don't you have to have the regular season wins to get to the postseason?
That's like the nonsense that morons would try to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he won all those regular season awards, but that doesn't matter at all. What? There's a reason why these things exist, because they're hard to do.
Right. And that's all I'm getting at.
Yep.
And I wasn't trying to overplay it. I'm just saying the only team with the exact same record since that week, do you know who it is? The back-to-back Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. 32-8 now.
Oh, Ken, wow. I'm not saying bloated. I'm saying bloated contracts that the Angels gave out. The owner basically runs the whole team. McCaskey's, right. I'm sure, run the whole team. That's why you see that record. Look how many GMs, coaches that they fired.
It's funny.
Oh, you telling me?
Who did the McCaskies hire to be the president of football operations underneath them at the same time? Warren.
Right.
Warren is the one that's hired every coach, hired every GM, hired every, and let those GMs make the picks. Oh, I understand that the Super Bowl wins is a metric. I wasn't even talking about Hall of Fame or anything like that. I'm talking about to get to the postseason, you have to have the regular season wins. It's just,
yeah, I've never really liked using the whole Super Bowl as a metric, especially for quarterbacks, because if you use that, it says Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino, and nobody with a functioning brain is going to make that argument.
You could say Trent Dilfer, Rob Johnson, there's all sorts of them that have been there. Or Brad Johnson, right? Brad Johnson.
Yep, Brad
the one
Johnson.
That won it for Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Bro, one thing your team should have done is gave out those contracts, like retain Roquan Smith. That's probably one of the best linebackers in the game. You know what I mean? Like, what is your team doing, Ken? What is your team doing? You seem to know what Poles is thinking. What is Poles thinking?
Fucking half balls again.
I didn't say anything about the Hall of Fame. That's not what my point was. My point was to get to the Super Bowl and the postseason, you have to have the regular season wins first.
Finish what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you, JB.
Yeah, it's okay. So at that point, in order to get a chance to go to the Super Bowl, you have to win in the regular season. That's my point.
Ken, what does that say? You're using Eli as a knock. You guys aren't even as good as Eli. You haven't been as good as Eli.
Well, I 100%. Well, I wouldn't say 100, but I would say I don't agree with Eli being in the Hall of Fame because to me, the only reason he's getting in is because his team beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl.
Not only that, you get 2 Super Bowls, you're basically a shoo-in in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yes.
And because he did it both times versus the GOAT, the guy that has more Super Bowl rings than anybody else, and it's a New York media-driven Hall of Fame vote, he'll get in first ballot.
And here's the other thing about Eli. If you look at those playoff performances, Eli was gunning. Dude, he had some hell of a those hell of playoff runs. Just like that year when the Ravens won it with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was killing people in the postseason.
The good quarterback thing for Joe, the tank is fully in place with Max Crosby needing ankle surgery and being out for the season.
No, he needed ankle surgery. What it is they threw an ice pack on his ankle for 5 minutes. All right, he's too injured. He can't play. They were probably too worried that he was going to get those 4 fumbles and touchdowns.
Raiders are Shador.
I saw somewhere Shador goes to New York.
Right? He's throwing the football.
Yeah, because I was to say he went out there a day before the game and played catch with Malik Neighbors in the middle of the street outside the stadium. That's pretty fucking cool, really. But at the same time, he's hedging his bet. He wants to be the first pick overall. So why wouldn't you placate to the 2 teams with the best odds to get it?
And if I were him, I would aim for New York. He'll be marketed more. You make more money off endorsements.
The only reason
you want that New York market.
The only reason why I say he'd be better off in Vegas is because of the New York media. Because if he makes rookie mistakes, they're gonna butcher him and ruin his confidence.
I'm gonna put another one with that, and it goes to I'm not going to say shitty ownership, but I'm going to say questionable ownership of the New York Giants with John Mara. There has been a lot of rumblings about not many people getting along with him. Belichick absolutely refused to go to coach there, wants nothing to do with it. And I've heard a few other guys say that same thing for the same reason. So
hey, I did hear the best dirty dad joke today, though. What do you call the hooker that's into butt stuff? A backhoe.
Hey, you like that?
Did you like that, Rob? You heard it when you walked in?
I heard it. I was listening.
Hey,
I'm only 5 feet away when you guys are talking. I can hear everything. That was hilarious.
I didn't know where your coffee was.
You like that video of Charles Woodson shutting down Megatron?
Oh, man.
Hey, you know what?
That shows
Charles
you how
Woodson and Peanut Tillman had the best cornerback record versus Megatron. It's not a question. It's a fact. I know this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, anytime Charles Woodson went off the field, Megatron had a touchdown.
Well, I mean, there's Charles Woodson, who's arguably one of the best corners that's played, and you take him out, and there's still a receiver that's arguably one of the best receivers that's ever played out there. That don't sound like a fair matchup for the other guys. Even Al Harris, who everybody knows that I loved, that still wasn't a great matchup for him.
Right.
Woodson's the reason why we won that Super Bowl in 2010. Remember when that game where Ben Roethlisberger basically had a rainbow fucking shot? It was going in the receiver's arms. Woodson blocked it, and it broke his collarbone in the same fucking time. That's when he got out the game. But hey, because of that play, if Woodson wasn't there, that would have been a touchdown for Steelers.
Good luck, Packers, because you kind of need this win to get into the playoffs. And I'm going to say why. Because the way the Rams are surging in the West, you just hear me out. If you lose to the Seahawks, like what's been happening in the past, correct? It's been since
in
2009.
In the recent past.
Right, in the recent past, since 2009 was your last win, correct? So hear me out here. If the Rams overtake that division and the Seahawks beat the Packers, they will get the edge in the last seed.
That's a big if.
It is a big if, but it's always a possibility. You know what I'm saying? I've been going over all the playoff scenarios.
We still have 96% chance if we don't beat the Seattle.
And if Atlanta loses today, it almost virtually guarantees a spot for Green Bay, whether it's the 6th or 7th seed.
So,
but I think we're beating the Seahawks. Hey, we always struggle at Lumen Field. I'll admit it.
I love it when Dorn says stuff like that, because this takes about other teams that have been so right, it means they won't.
I think I said that this morning. It's not about Dorn.
Hey, look.
Yeah, but now that Dorn says it, it invalidates your opinion.
Now, look, we always struggle at Lumen Field. It's a tough place, a tough environment to play in. You know what I mean? The 12th man definitely, you know what I mean, affects basically, you know, drawing people off sides or neutral zone infractions type of stuff. Thing is, though, Seahawks haven't been that good against the run. And guess who just went off against the Lions? You know what I mean?
Hold on. Guess who also has a history of having great games against the Seahawks? It's the same guy you're talking about.
Oh, who's that? Who's that guy?
I think it might be the number 3 running back in the entire league, Josh Jacobs.
Oh, okay.
We don't know.
All hands on deck. Good luck with Josh Jacobs.
If hearing a lot of if. Oh, you know, Jesus. That's king of the if.
John, I'm going to say one thing. If there's one thing that this management and coaching staff and the front office has done with the Lions lately, is so far executed everything they said they do right down to a T so far. So do I have hope we will watch them in the Super Bowl? 100%.
Oh man, you're going down the same. We've all watched football and seen this path before. You guys are on your way to the Super Bowl if you continue your path, unless you fucking totally tank.
Right. I mean, unless something falls apart. But you know, in every game where it would be because the Lions lost could happen this season so far, it hasn't.
Yep. No, you guys.
Let's see the Lions.
So.
This ain't the Lions of the poll.
Let's see what the Lions can pull off, like Green Bay when we had like 15 players on IR winning that Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Let's call it.
Well, Joseph Austin, I'm going to say this. He had 66 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a great game touchdown-wise. It was pedestrian yardage-wise because he had so many carries and only 3.7 yards per carry. But at the same time, if you look at what happened in that second half, and I'm not making an excuse, it's the reason it happened. Our interior defensive line, after Aleem McNeil went down, and you got 2 backups that rarely played in there, they couldn't create the push interior-wise to stop Josh Jacobs. That's not an excuse. That's what happened.
Oh, that stadium gets loud. Hey, trust me, Lumen Field gets loud, Ken. I've been there before.
Lumen Field is loud. 3rd highest in decibels this year. You want to know who the first 2 are?
I'm going to guess.
Arrowhead and Ford
in
Field.
Detroit?
Yep. That's
I had a feeling it was those 2.
This year.
Yeah, all you hear at Arrowhead is "oh" whole fucking game, like a college fucking game, dude. You know,
you hear Swifty,
right?
Yeah, and you know they already had a large fan base, and then Travis Kelce starts dating Swift, and the jersey sales go through the roof for every single Chiefs player there is. You know, it's funny while everybody knocks the Chiefs for having the Swifties there, they're leading the league. They're leading the league in NFL jersey sales right now.
Hey, they went from
the top 5 right now in no particular order, but I know Chiefs is number 1. I don't know the other order. It's Chiefs, Lions, Packers, Raiders, Seahawks. There's a reason for that. they're all huge fan bases.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's gonna go from an Arrowhead to
I find that funny. I find that funny
oh.
that the most populated city with the two teams in the NFL in the United States don't have two of the best-selling jersey sales in the country, though, and that's the New Jersey teams that say they play for New York.
Well, when you pretty much slept the entire season, I don't see many people buying jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta address one thing too. Is what's called everybody's saying, "Oh, look at that Packer player that gave up on the Niners." First of all, he wasn't a Packer player. We rated him
He's a
for like
49ers
2
player.
years. Yeah, he's a 49ers player. Before us, he was on the fucking practice squad. You know what I mean? What is it? Was
I
it the
think it was.
Cardinals?
Yep.
Yeah, the Cardinals. So it was the Cardinals player originally. So just because we had him for 2 years and we got him
That's
for his
on
best year of his career,
John. That's a
doesn't make him
fallacy
Packer
because
player.
that's off of resale value, not at the face ticket value. The face ticket value of all tickets before they were sold out for every game this year, the cheapest seats were $250. That's people driving up the price like they always do, scalping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and believe us, as Packer fans, we know how that goes. Because if you don't have season tickets, you're buying them secondhand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, because as soon as the tickets go on sale, it's funny. Everybody poo-pooed about it, but we were the fastest team to sell out of season tickets ever this season. And then we were the fastest to sell out of the regular season tickets for everything else. Because all the other fans go, shit, I better start buying now or I'm going to be paying double or triple come the time we play them. So, everybody forgets that fans of other teams, at least 20% of them buy their tickets when they're first announced that they're for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure ticket sales. I'm sure there's like different times a year where they're higher. Where the sales are higher, and I would imagine getting in. You want to get good seats. You want to get in right off the bat. So as soon as sales go on open, I'm sure it's huge.
Oh yeah, Eric McKinney's hungry. Feed McKinney.
Oh
He's
yeah,
hungry.
good old Xavier McGinney's gonna be eating all night.
Is Evan Williams back for you guys this week?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he
Thank
is.
God. Because if he
Yep.
wasn't,
Cooper's back. Evan Williams is back. Who else was back? Dobbs is back.
Edwin Cooper.
Pretty much
yep.
everybody but
was
Alexander's back.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I'm happy to hear that for you guys because you could see, but it wasn't just one guy missing that was the problem last week.
Oh no.
It was a combination of the 3 or 4 on defense.
The best news is Cooper because like our middle has been getting exposed. You know what I mean? We've been giving up 10 touchdowns. We've been giving up 60% of the passes down the middle. With Edwin Cooper in there, that number drops drastically.
Wow, look at that shit.
Because there hasn't been regular season tickets for sale for Lions games since week 8. That's how fast we sold out of everything throughout the rest of the season. As soon as they went on sale, I was in line on the Lions website for tickets, and it says, you are the 18,394th guy, and it said, sorry, sold out before it got to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, let's not wait to the end of the show like some other show. Let's talk about the Vikings Bears now.
if this isn't a 52-6 victory, then the Vikings failed.
Right. Hey, what you call it? Yeah, Vikings.
Absolutely, and a Bear fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? I gotta admit, I gotta give the Vikings their props. I mean, I thought they were gonna be absolute dog shit this year. You know what I mean, like I thought really, too many things that said that, it wasn't gonna work out. Like they had what's called a player in the secondary die before the season even started. They had a couple players on IR even in their secondary.
A couple. They had damn near a roster of injured guys to start the season.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna go bad. JJ
So didn't
McCarthy gone. You know what I mean? Like, man. Aaron Jones, I thought, missing a lot of games. I thought, the Aaron Jones, I don't know where he was. They're playing really good football.
He's fucking showing up, man. I said it on the one of the other shows that Aaron Jones is like, he took it personally that we traded him, and he's going to show us that he fucking can stay a whole season, I guess. Because he's playing. I mean, because of his play, I think that's helped the Vikings tremendously. It's given Darnold more time.
Oh yeah. And Flores deserves a head coaching job. Flores is doing a hell of a job.
They're probably going to lose him if they do well. If they do well, they're going to probably lose him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say right now, regardless of who wins this game, I think the final score is 31-27 with an over/under of 52. I'd bet the over.
Holy cow, bro! So,
oh man,
31-27. You're talking about the Bears game?
No, I'm talking about Bills Lions today.
Okay, Bills.
Oh,
okay, all right.
The over/under is 52 points, and I think they're going to hit it because I think regardless who wins, and I'm not trying to be a homer here, I think the final score is going to end up 31-27 because when we had an absolute dog shit defense during that stretch that was just finding their legs in 2022, we lost by 3 to the Bills.
I think it's going to be a higher score than that. If you watch
the defense doesn't allow much more than that. I mean, there was the anomaly of the Rams game, but they usually don't give up that many points. If you look at it, we're tied for second in the league, and I think they're either fourth or fifth. Both teams only give up an average of 30 points a game.
Yeah,
18 for the Lions and 30 points for them.
And unfortunately for you guys, them losing that Rams game, I think is going to make Josh Allen put that Superman cape on even earlier.
And unfortunately for them, they lost Rasul Douglas, DeMar Hamlin, and Taylor Rapp in that game.
Darian makes a good point. Like a lot of these running backs went to good teams. You know what I mean? Like Saquon went to a perfect team with the Eagles. You know, Josh Jacobs went to a playoff team. You know, just fresh off the playoffs. You know what I mean?
He's fucking crazy.
Paul Jones, 88-84 Lions win.
I want to go back to Rob's comment. Where he said that they got good Darnold or bad Darnold. When has there ever been a good Darnold till this year?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Rob, how did you know he was going to be good, Sam Darnold?
He did show flashes.
The only time he was good with New York was week 1 versus my Lions.
That's a flash.
What's up, Philip? Good morning. Go Pack, go.
But he showed that flash that he could do it. But in that same season the same season he saw ghosts.
So you're saying the Bears are going to put 28 on you, huh? I mean, bro, if the Bears can put 28 on you, maybe they're not quitting. Maybe they're not quitting. Well, I got to see it, bro. I mean, it looked to me like the Bears players will quit on the team. Just
let's look at it this way. Luce was the defensive coach. They fire him. In the first game after, the defense looks lost.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop a cold versus well, let's face it.
One thing I'm worried about if I'm the Bears is Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson has been quiet for like a bunch of games, and then he woke up last week. You know what I mean? With 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. If Justin Jefferson is back to his normal form, Jalen Johnson, you better watch out.
Yes, you guys need Buffalo to take the Lions out today in order to have a shot. Otherwise, the Lions you can't stop the Lions from taking over.
Oh yeah, if Lions win this game, then they win the division. They wrap up the division.
Yeah, you wrap it up today. It's wrapped up.
That's exactly what was said. That if we win versus the Bills, it's a wrap.
Yeah, because this is the Vikings' only chance because they play you again. They still have to beat you when they play you. I mean, they're not out of the woods, but in order to have a shot, they need Buffalo to beat you today,
or Chicago, or San Francisco.
Yeah. That's true.
Chicago
takes on Minnesota, it's over.
And I was afraid of the Chicago game to start the season when we first talked about the schedules, and I told you that. But after the way we played in the cold and the rain and the wind versus the Packers, I'm not as scared of that game because those were all the things that they kept saying about Tua. Can't play in temperatures under 50 degrees, can't play in the wind, can't play in the rain, and he did it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Rob. We're all surprised. Everybody on this panel here did not know that if Darnold was going to be like, we all were like, he's dog shit.
But remember, I said the division was going to line up one of two ways, and I had the Bears in the basement the whole time. I was the only one of us that said the Bears would stay in the basement this year because everybody said, man, with the weapons they got, plus Caleb and everything else, they should be better with that defense.
Yep.
But
It was logical thinking. It was logical thinking about the Bears.
And I said, it's going to come down to the Packers and Vikings, and the only thing you have a question mark with the Vikings is Sam Darnold. If he's good, they're winning 10-plus games. If he's not, they're winning at least 8 because of the defense. And I said that coming into the season. I never had them less than 8 wins. Never.
It's in Bears' best interest to not win any more games. Tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, even if you're good enough to beat a team, just tank. Get that pick because you're not getting anything else anyways. You already fired your coach. You're on the fringe of firing your GM. You know what I mean? You're on the fringe of like starting all over.
In Haspel's, I'll give you that he's in the conversation, but to me, right now, it's Harbaugh with what he did, taking over a brand new team and making them competitive.
There's 4 ahead of them right now, and that's the guy out there in Buffalo because they clinched their division so early. Dan Campbell because we've only had 1 loss. Dan Quinn with the surprise of what's going on there in Washington, and Jim Harbaugh. Those are the 4 guys ranked above KOC in the Coach of the Year voting right now.
Since you mentioned Sean McDermott and Dan Campbell in the same sentence, did you see Sean McDermott say that he could beat every coach out there that there is in the NFL and wrestling, even Dan Campbell?
And I laughed my ass off. I was like, but he's not built like even Robert Salah. I think Robert Salah is the best matchup versus Dan Campbell at a wrestling match.
Sean McDermott's pretty solidly built.
He's solid, but he's not toned, he's not defined, and everything else is what I'm getting at.
I think
he's not huge, but I would definitely say he's toned and defined.
I think before he left,
I'm just saying,
the scariest coach to probably wrestle would be Vrabel. Vrabel's just a big fucking.
He's not a coach right now, so he's not active. So I'm saying out of the active coaches, I think they're the 3 top ones to win.
Now, if Sean McDermott and Campbell actually do wrestle, is Campbell going to get disqualified for biting McDermott's knee during the match?
Right. Or whatever surgically repaired there. You see Dan Campbell, like, you know what I mean? You know how Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, slams the cans together and chugs those beers? You see Dan Campbell with 2 Starbucks cups, like, full of the fucking coffee that he drinks, slam them.
See, here I thought you were going to say you're going to see Dan Campbell slam together 2 kneecaps.
That's his lunch.
I think I may have just gave JB a new idea. There's gonna be a picture of Dan Campbell standing on the ring ropes and just matching some kneecaps.
And he's gonna change his podcast name to 2 kneecaps.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know, and I love it when somebody says, "Wasn't Dan Campbell a part of Bounty Gate?"
Yep.
That was 2000. No, that was 2009. He was a Lion.
Oh yeah, he's part of the 0-16 team though.
Yeah, 2008, 2009, 2010. He went to the Dallas Cowboys.
I guarantee when he went 0-16, he's like, "I'll be back as the head coach one day, and I'm going to take him to victory."
Because he didn't even get into coaching. I think it was 2017. That was when Joe Philbin got fired, and he took over as the interim head coach. Then.
No. He was, I think, a tight ends coach for the Saints for a while back.
No, he was hired after the Dolphins job. His first coaching job was with the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure of it.
So, of course, to help Green Bay, Max Crosby has to announce he's out the season. I mean, because that's who the Falcons are playing. Today, it was like, oh, man. Like, great. He's out the season.
He's out the season.
Like not that I want any help to get into the playoffs. I want us to earn it. You know what I mean? Because a hungry team does well in the playoffs. We proved that last year. You know what I mean? We came in with freaking on a surge. You know what I mean? Jordan Love was playing the best football of his, young career. You know what I mean? We get that kind of surges into the NFL.
He was
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
a coaching intern in 2010 with the Miami Dolphins. Then he was the Miami Dolphins coach from 2011 to 2015. 2015, he was the interim head coach for the Dolphins. And then
wasn't that Joe Philbin?
Yeah, that was Joe Philbin. He took over. Remember when they were 0-7 and they only had a few games left, and he got them to win more than half of them by getting 5 wins?
Yeah, he was Packers OC for a little bit, and then he went over there. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he went to the New Orleans. He didn't coach for the New Orleans Saints till 2016.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was way earlier that he was with the Saints.
He was a player with them. He was a player with them early.
Okay, maybe that's where I'm confusing it. Because when he was a coach for the Saints, I actually did like Dan Campbell. And then when I heard that that's who the Lions were hiring, I was like, great.
Well, and it's funny, and Lions fans have hated it, but the guy that got sued to quit being a dirty player was Dan Campbell as an interim head coach. Because you notice he stopped getting all those personal fouls and unsportsmanlike after that, because it was their first game that they lost as a coach, and it was due to a 15-yard penalty that Ndamukong Suh got because he basically stomped on another quarterback.
Well, for like the 5th time in his career?
For the 5th time in his career at that point, because it was once a year. And he pulled him to the side, and he literally said, "Hey, you can't do these stupid penalties that put the team in a bad spot in a game we could have won."
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds like LaFleur right now.
You need to start taking responsibility and being better yourself. And Ndamukong Suh said that's the reason why he was able to go from the Dolphins to the Rams, then the Bucks, then the Eagles, all during Super Bowl run.
Man, you know what's funny about that? Suh doesn't even need to be dirty. Look how big, massive that guy was. You know what I mean? It's
Some
just
guys
how
need an
powerful
edge, bro,
was.
and they cling to it.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I don't know why he was dirty. Like, you didn't need to do any of that. Like, you could tackle 3 guys at once if you wanted to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Guy was Aaron Donald fucking built. You know what I mean? Like, big. Like that.
They're going for the psychological advantages. That's what he's trying to do. Like, I'm the dirtiest player. You can't expect. You don't know what's going to come from me. And then you take that into
game. I'm not against that to a degree, but man, some of the things Suh did.
Stepping on Rodgers' surgically repaired ankle. You know what I mean? Like, just
kicking. What was it? Evan Dietrich Smith in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
What about the side suplex on David Craig that basically ended his career in Cleveland?
Yeah,
See, he doesn't need to do all that, dude. The guy was just so big, dude.
The suplex one, I won't hold against him because honestly, I see that play. That's the type of play that I like is the suplex. The stepping and kicking, that's
legal. No, at that time it was legal. It became illegal the next season to do that. Because again, you were able to grab a quarterback and throw him down on their head back then. It happened all the time.
Him and Vontaze Burfict have to be related.
If not him, you have to say Aziz Al-Qadir. That guy just got. And I can't believe he's going to be back next week.
He's 1 foot out the NFL with all the antics he pulls too.
He only had 3 suspensions, but I guarantee you, if he gets another one of those unsportsmanlike type of hits this year, he'll be done for the season. And that will cost, because he's also, when he's playing right, he's a great linebacker for the Texans. Don't get it twisted. I like the way he plays the game, except when he gets dirty.
That's just like I liked how aggressive Montez Burfitt was. And
until he started headhunting.
until he started going off the freaking deep end there and damn near killed AB on the field.
Gave AB CTE to this day.
Well, hey, since AB's making all this money off of X being the crazy person that he is, do you think he should give Montez Burfitt a little bit of a kickback on that?
Right. They're out signing shops together.
Perfect just needs to start get his own brand going and just hitting people and knocking the shit out of them.
Right. He's gonna do that like twice, and he's gonna be in prison.
Nah, it's all gonna be agreed upon. You sign a waiver. You're not responsible.
Who the hell's gonna sign a waiver to get decapitated?
Bro, please. There's people out there that pay to get their nuts stepped on. I'm sure someone's gonna fucking go on, and I'll take on an NFL, guaranteed.
Well, to be fair, there was one guy at one of the golf tournaments that AJ Hawk was at that begged him to tackle him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it went about how he expected. They asked him if he wanted to do it again. He said no.
Well, you're absolutely right with what just happened with Matt Crosby, and everybody said poo-pooed on it that we didn't go out and get him. With him being out for the season, it looks like a brilliant
he's only
move.
out for the season because they're trying to tank. That's the only reason he could play, man. He could line up today and play. Guaranteed.
Yeah, Max looks like that guy that you can take his arm off and he'll still play. You know what I mean?
And you would be better with one arm Max than most other guys. I'm just saying.
Right.
No, he's gonna lose a leg. He's gonna stab a broom handle into it and run out their peg leg and still get sacks.
He's like Seamus from fucking Family Guy.
Oh my God, tell me that wouldn't be perfect for the Raiders. We have the mascot on the field, guys. It's Peggy the Pirate.
He's like, I got my winning arm.
Just winning, baby.
But no, like back to Dan Campbell. You could tell he was going to be a head coach from the players and everything. Like Tony Romo said, when he came in with Dallas, he took the locker room by storm. He became the leader right away. Like
I like Dan Campbell.
He became a team captain.
Yeah, he's the team captain. Like what, three different locker rooms?
Yeah, he was a team captain for Detroit. He was a team captain for the Saints earlier in his career, and a team captain for Dallas. But he managed to do it his first year with every team.
Mm-hmm. Because Tony, like during that game where Tony was broadcasting, I think it was like Lions and I forgot which game it was, but he was just saying that, you know, Tony Romo saying Dan like immediately commanded the room. He really should, like, he outstood, like he was the outlier. Like everybody was trying to be captain, but he was the outlier because people knew he was going to be the captain.
The Raiders need a miracle, not a mascot.
And every football locker room needs that. You know what I mean? A born leader. Just lead you through, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie. The guy you guys picked up is Darius Smith. He was that guy in our locker room when he came in. You know what I mean? He made everybody believe in the D train. You know what I mean? And which guy? He basically changed the culture kind of on our defense. Our defense was shit before that.
Yep.
I know you poo-pooed on it a couple times in a couple of games because he may have had a couple of slow starts. But if you actually looked at all the metrics that they measure for good defensive ends, through 9 games with the Browns, he had 27 pressures and 5.5 sacks. He's only played 4 games. He's had 20 pressures and 4 sacks and 2 QB hits already with Detroit.
That's because you're turning him loose and letting him do what he can do.
When he fully buys in, when he fully buys into a program, he's a great player. Yeah. But the second he gets a slight, he turns into a toxic asshole.
Yeah,
he didn't make him captain because he didn't make him captain. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
And I bet you he will be one of the captains on defense next year because the guy that might not be back is Anzalone.
You think Anzalone's not
You're
back?
not going to bring back Anzalone?
You have to bring back Anzalone. That's
you
your
don't have
linebacker.
to.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell has actually overtaken him in tackles and taken over the green dot and doing a great job with this Legion of Whom defense.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you lose your job to injury, man. Someone comes in and does it better.
Right.
Fucking A, bro.
But man,
I'm just saying,
like all over the field.
That's what happens. That's part of the NFL. That's why it's not for long. Not for long.
We've had 5 nobodies that filled in for him in that time and been all over the field too. You know, you say what you want, but you know, this lead, and I say Legion of Whom because we keep picking up practice squad guys every goddamn week. There's an injury, and we haven't lost yet. And I'm not saying we won't because it can happen. It's any given Sunday. And we're up against a good team this week. The 49ers are a good team that just fell apart and quit on their team.
On top of that, Anzalone's a fan favorite. You see a bunch of fans with the long locks, you know what I mean? Wigs.
Yeah, I know. I just have that weird feeling that they may move on from him in the offseason.
I mean, it's certainly possible, but like, I just think he's been doing a pretty good job. Like, he's really been, you know what I mean? It's hard to throw down the middle with him on the field.
This is the last year coming up for Zadarius Smith.
So you guys gave him his money the first year, and then
there's 3 defensive captains, 3 offensive captains, and a special teams captain every year for every team, Joseph Austin.
They should just make contracts.
I'm not saying that he won't be. Panay Sewell will always be the captain of the offense. Look at his pregame speeches. That's just, we're looking at different things here. Offensive captains and defensive captains are 2 different animals.
Mm-hmm.
They should just make everything all incentive laden. If you show out, you get paid more money. If you're the best linebacker, you get the most money. If you're, fuck all this. That way, that'll tell you who's the best guy. You'll get better performances out of everybody when they get paid according to how well they play.
Because the captains on offense right now are Amon-Ra, Panay Sewell, and Goff. The captains on defense this year was Aiden Hutchinson. We lost him. Alex Anzalone. We lost him for a while. And I believe the other one was Kirby. If I remember right. It might not be him, but you know what I'm saying. They pick somebody at every level of the defense is what I'm getting at.
Don't Green Bay got like no captains? Like nobody gets the captain status. I think like last year.
No, I don't think we have permanent captains. I think we rotate them each week.
Yeah, I know. Like in years past, we put Kenny Clark as captain.
But as you see, I wore my Black Hendon Hooker jersey because it's the only black jersey I got.
Honestly, I would have followed a guy who's leading the locker room, who's leading, who's a natural leader out on the field. That's who you want as your captain anyway. What the fuck?
Yeah, I want Xavier McKinney. McGinney. I'll say Xavier McGinney for our defense and for our offense. Shit, I'll put Josh Jacobs up there. Fuck it.
Jacobs
having a great
season.
He's
our best offensive weapon. He is.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And Jacobs, I did say, as soon as our defensive interior push went away, was when everything changed in the second half.
Oh, you know what else he buried? Josh Jacobs. Remember, everybody was like, yeah, he gets a bunch of yards, but he doesn't get touchdowns. He's got 12 touchdowns, baby. Let's go.
So does David Montgomery.
Yeah.
And he has receiving touchdowns as well.
Yeah, and I was about to just bring that up. I was just about to bring that up that, Josh Jacobs isn't that good of a receiver as a running back and this and that. Well, it seems like any running back that comes into LaFleur's system looks like a good receiver.
This is not about Montgomery, JB. All right?
I know. I just wanted to say, so does Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs has 12 touchdowns on the season total right now. David Montgomery has
I just wanted
14.
to point. I just wanted to point out, Jacob. People were talking shit. Jacobs doesn't have touchdowns. He has 12 in the season. You know what I mean?
Leaders aren't born that way. They're developed through mentorship and experience.
100%. And he's right. But at the same time, you can't say that Zadarius Smith hasn't been in the league long enough that if he acts like the team leader he has been all this year, he'll be a team captain next year. Because they'll vote him into it.
And you very well could make him a captain for the playoffs, too.
Right.
Yeah, he's got experience. I mean, he's got experience in all that stuff. So, I mean, you can't discount that. But his attitude about it, maybe he's got a better attitude now. You know what I'm saying?
All right. But I'm going to hop off here, guys. The dog's starting to go crazy.
All right, bro.
All right.
We only got 5 minutes left anyway. So it's all good,
you know, Joseph Boston, I'm going to say right now, that draft, I literally called that's the way it would go because Burrow was pounding the table with the GM the entire draft prior to the draft saying, bring my teammate Jamar Chase in. And everybody was like, oh, there's no way they're going to pass on Sewell. I said, 100% they will.
Yeah.
That Burrow Jamar Chase connection is so great.
It
is.
I
mean, like,
but the problem is Burrow's only on the field for 2/3 of a season, so that third of a season he misses, it hurts them. And their defense, every year they lose a great player and they sign a mediocre one or draft one late to replace them, and you can see it's not working.
They're dumb for letting go of Tyler Boyd. I mean, he was a good slot receiver for them. You know what I mean?
Tyler Boyd. They were dumb for letting go of Jesse Bates, who was
Jesse Bates. Yeah, it's like, and
they were dumb to let go of DJ Reader this season.
On top of that, their GM is so cheap on paying wide receivers. Like, look, Jamar Chase should have had a deal by now. Now you're just driving up the price with this type of season he's having.
Yeah, bro.
And the guy's like,
he's balled out, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, that guy's becoming Antonio Brown in his prime, dude. Like 2 touchdowns a game, almost. Like he's guaranteed.
He had like 200 yards, over 200 yards, bro. I mean,
200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they lost that game.
Yeah,
and they lost because the coach went for it in overtime, right? That was the good.
Did you see that play where Burrow like looks to the left, like kind of, and he basically directs Jamar Chase where to run, and it was a wide open touchdown because of it? It's kind of a special connection right there.
Right. Well, when you played together for 2 years in college and then you played all this time in the pros, you get that type of connection. It's kind of like Amon-Ra. He does the same thing. He'll look at Amon-Ra out his side eye and do a motion with his head. And all of a sudden, Amon-Ra starts to go that way. So he rolls out that way, throws it back across his body right to him. It's crazy.
Yep.
But that type of stuff is because when you play together, this is their 4th season together, and you build that type of rapport where he's your most trusted receiver, you're going to direct him more than you do the other players.
It's because of that connection. He's 4-1 against Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like, Jamar Chase is something special. He's you know what? Even though as great as he is, everything, I think he's kind of underrated because we don't talk about Jamar Chase being one of the best in the game, even though
I have him in my top 5 to top 10 every year. That's where I have him, and that's where he should be production-wise, if you think about it. Because there's been years where he hasn't had the yards, but he had the touchdowns. There's been years he had the touchdowns, and not the yards too. And everybody says, "What do you mean?" I said, "There was that one year where he only had 1,100 yards, but he had 12 touchdowns."
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's put up postseason numbers. His postseason numbers have been great.
Right, but the defense is where they lack.
Mm-hmm.
I said right now this year the Bengals defense couldn't beat Bishop Sycamore.
Well, hey, we're coming to the end of the show. I want to thank everybody in the comments for commenting. I want to thank you guys all for joining me on the panel today. You want to pump your show, JB?
Well, you all know what it is. It's Lions Talk, Smoking Jeremy B. every day at noon on the Huddle Sports Network, Monday through Friday. We got the NFL Roundtable Talks on Wednesday, the Lions Fan Cave Chat on Friday, and then I post whatever else into the YouTube side of it on Kneecap Fighting with the Motor City Lions.
You can catch me and Isaac every morning, usually on Ken and Ken or on Frozen Thunder Network on Fridays, and catch me at Open Mic on Saturday nights. So come Well, thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Go.